Hello and welcome to our Revit MEP 2008, and I'll call that RME 2008 CAD clips. And we will be doing more detailed CAD clips talking very specifically about how Revit is used and views and cut planes and all of the interface and the whole work process of using levels and grids and all that good stuff, walls and doors and windows and ceilings and floors. But in this particular series, we want to just kind of jump in and get things going fairly quickly and kind of provide a bit of a demo as well as an actual process that we can use the tools that come with Revit MEP to quickly go through and create a little air supply air system with the HVAC and all the heating and cooling calculations, and link some files and some exciting stuff. So we're going to do that in this particular series, and then we'll do a more fundamental lesson a bit later. So to start with, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the interface. We've got our normal menus here. We can click on the different pull-down menus. A lot of what's in the pull-down menus will also show up here in the design bar. If you right-click anywhere in the design bar, you'll see other topics like the drafting tab. Right-click again, massing. Right-click again. So you'll see different topics showing up here, and I'm kind of restricted for space, so what I'm going to do is turn off everything I absolutely don't need, and I'm even going to turn off mechanical to start with and see if I can just use the basic tab. I'm going to turn off architectural, I'm going to turn off drafting, I'm going to turn off massing just so I can maximize my space. So I have basics and I have views. Views are where we can go in and create elevations and sections and callouts and stuff like that. And over here we have our area where we do our drafting, our modeling, and then we have our views. As we create different views, they get populated in our project browser, and within that project browser we can see families, which are kind of like blocks or cells and groups and stuff like that. And this project browser is organized in a specific way. We can right click up here and hit properties, and we can actually go in and we can sort this by going in and changing our sorting, and we're not going to do anything like that in this particular lesson. So this is how we navigate to our views. These are a lot of our tools which are in our pull down menus, and we have different tools here, and these toolbars here will change depending on what you click. If you click floor plan, you'll notice that'll bring up a dialog box because of the dots, but as you start to draw, I pick duct, you'll see different options show up here. If I draw a room, different options show up. Okay, you don't have to worry. If you just pick on something, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to see the different options. Okay, and you can go back, click modify, which clears your selection, or you can just hit escape on the keyboard. So we have our basic mechanical options because this is MEP. And what we're going to do in here is we're going to move beyond our interface, and we're going to just link in an architectural file, and we're going to start with a new template. So no matter what you're in right now, go up and go file, close. Get down to the bare bones here. You'll notice when you're in zero state mode, nothing is really available. So I'm going to say file, new project, and I'm going to pick a project template, picking browse, and then when I pick browse, it's going to go into my templates folder, and I'm going to use the mechanical template RTE file, and I'm going to hit open. So we all start, I hit OK. Now we're starting off with a new project template file. We can all start at the same starting point. Now that I've started that new base file, I'm going to link in an architectural model that comes with Revit. So all I'm going to do is inside of here, you can see some default views are set up, some elevations and plans. I'm going to go file, and I'm going to say link, and I'm going to link in a Revit file. Inside of there, I'm going to take this and stretch this down a little bit so it fits on the screen. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to navigate to my training folder over here on the left, and I'm going to go to Imperial. I know a lot of people have been asking for metric, or a few people lately. I'm going to have to start doing some metric. And we're going to go into the mechanical folder, and way down in the end, I'm going to take this file called iZones. It's got annotation and stuff, but that won't come in. We're linking in this file. So I'm going to link in that. I'm just going to link it in center to center. That's it, the .rvt file now coming into my local file. after starting my new project. After I do that, what I'm going to do is ultimately I want to copy and monitor the rooms from that architectural file. Now within my file, I click on there and I can see that I have an architectural model that's been linked. If I go to a 3D view up here, clicking on here, I can see that. Shift on the keyboard, middle mouse button, and I can swivel around and see that architectural model. And this all comes with Revit, and I can use my wheel button to zoom in and out. Okay, and we can talk all about different display. If I use my wheel button and hold it in, I can pan with my middle mouse kind of wheel button. And then I can zoom by turning the wheel, and then a shift middle mouse button wheel press, I can swivel and then pan. So practice panning, swiveling using your shift key and your middle mouse button. Okay, so this just happens to be that 3D view, and we have HVAC views that are over here. So now I've linked in my architectural model, and what I want to do is copy, before I can copy monitor the rooms, because the rooms are really the lesson of the day. Rooms have all the information with the volume, and then when we attach our air terminals and all our stuff, the room holds the data that says how big that room is and any particular criteria about the room. So we want to copy the rooms from what was already in that architectural model. This is one way, of course, to do it, because we can use the tools that are built in out of the box here. So now, in order to copy the room, what we're going to do is I'm going to pretend I don't know what I'm doing a little bit here, and I'm going to go up to Tools and say Copy Monitor, which is what we want to do, and say select the link I want to copy monitor from. So I'm going to hover over top of here, wheeling out, and I'm going to click on that. Now I'm in copy monitor mode. And if I try to say copy rooms right now, which is what I want to do, it's going to give me a warning and say you could not copy the rooms. Check that the options in here have the phases configured, and that the levels, the floor levels in the linked file have also been monitored or copied. So I need to take a step back here. Okay, I'm going to go and hit this options button right inside of here, and I'm going to go to rooms, and I'm going to move down, and I'm going to go to phases, and I'm going to say my phase existing needs to get synced up with the existing phase from the linked file, and my new construction phase is going to get synced up with the new construction phase of the linked file. So that's the first thing. Now I have to hit OK, and that was in my options. Now I need to copy the levels or monitor the levels. So I'm going to go to a south view, south elevation, looking this way, which is that little point right there, south elevation. And now what I'm going to do, there's my levels. That I have my two levels here that were in my base file, and then these are all the levels that came with the linked file. So I need to monitor at least the levels of the rooms I'm trying to copy over. So I'm going to say OK. Well, I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to copy. Notice when you pick copy, now all of a sudden I can select the objects from the linked file. Okay, which is the purpose of it. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I mean, I can copy grid lines, etc. as well, but for now, I'm just going to say copy level 1, bink, and because I already have a level 1, it automatically takes my level 1 and syncs it up with their level 1. Notice we both have a level 2. Watch what happens. I'm still in the copy mode. I'm going to pick level 2, click, and all of a sudden you'll see my level 2 will jump and lock to their level 2. And I'm going to copy this one as well. While I'm at it, copy this one as well. Okay, so now I've created my levels that are holding the rooms that I'm on. I've changed my phases in my options by going into here, okay, hitting OK down there, and now I can go back to my floor plan, level 1 mechanical, and I can say copy rooms, and watch what happens. Boom, 33 rooms were copied. Okay, you don't have to pick them, you don't have to do anything, it just copies all of the rooms. Okay, maybe a good thing or a bad thing, but it does all of them, and that's it. The rooms have now been copied locally. Okay, I'm also going to go in and say copy, and I'm going to copy that grid line. because I'm going to want to have that grid line as well, and that one, and this one. So I'm going to copy some grid lines as well. I might as well. And that way they'll be in my drawing, and they'll also be linked back to the architectural model. Okay. And then if one of them moves, then everything is all tied in together. Now I'm finished the whole copy monitor process, finish mode. And then I just click out. Okay, so now locally in my file I have a bunch of grid lines. If I go to my south elevation, I have my 4 levels, and most importantly, now when I hover over here, you will see that I have rooms that I've copied and are linked and synchronized back with the architectural model. If I go to File and I go to Manage Links, and I go to Revit, that file that I went here, RME training folder, and when I linked it in, if it changes and I reload that linked file, okay, then my rooms will update and my schedules and all of my subsequent mechanical system will all update, because now these rooms are linked back to the architectural model and controlled from that point, and then we can append it and do what we want here with it at this point. So now that we've synced our phases and copy monitored our levels and rooms, okay, now we can go in and just tag our rooms. So I'm just going to go to my drafting. I'm going to right click on here and go to drafting, and I'm going to go to, now there's this tag tool, and then there's room tag. Room tags have their own special button. This is tagging doors and windows and walls and roofs and everything else, I suppose. Room tags have their own button. And then this, we can do multiple tagging. We'll talk about that in a future series. So room tag, click on here. I can pick which type of room tag I want over here. And as soon as I pick room tag, first of all the rooms kind of light up like this. And as I hover over this, because the room is coming from the architectural model, it knows its room name and number and everything else. So now I can just click on here. We do have to do this. Notice Office 4, Office 5, it's dynamically changing. Mechanical, electrical, men's room. See, because this is picking up this information from the architectural model. Okay, open. As soon as I move in, you don't have to be on the X, by the way. You just Office 12, Office 13, 14, stairwell, Office 16. And of course, if this changes back in the architectural model, it will all change, you know, downstream over here. So is that all my rooms? Okay, so there's all my rooms. Escape, escape. Now I probably want to go in and save this file, give it a new name. Of course, save or save as. If I go to a 3D view, I don't really see any change because rooms don't show up in a 3D view. Once we go into the mechanical heating and loading calculations dialog box, we can actually see each individual room in 3D. So there is a few, I would say, limitations with visibility and graphics with Revit MEP in this only second or third release of the software, but it's definitely coming along, and I'm sure we'll be able to see those soon. So mainly when you want to see rooms, which is the lesson of the day, if we go down to they're best viewed at from a floor plan. Now we also have a level 2 mechanical floor plan here. So I can go down into here and say room tag. I'm not going to do all of these, but it's smart enough to know what rooms these all are. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that yourself. In fact, it's so quick I can actually just do it right here while I'm talking, like that. Okay, and then what's in this? Is this open? Oh, look at that, beautiful. So then we have those in our floor plans. And now let's look at the properties of a room. So if we hover over a room, the way to pick it is you kind of hover and you'll see that X. You click on it, and then we go to this properties button, which we use element properties constantly throughout using Revit. And we click on here, we have all these great properties of the room. And this is where all the fun begins, because we can go in here and we can see that the volume of the room is, you know, a certain amount of cubic feet, and because we're using imperial units, the area, the perimeter, bounding height, and we can talk more extensively about the bounding heights and what is room bounding and what is not. Okay, so we've got electrical lighting information. We've got where it's constrained on level 2 here. We've got mechanical airflow. You'll notice at this point the actual air supply is 0 CFMs and specified. These are all kind of zeroed out because we have our room, we haven't applied our mechanical system. As we start to develop add in our components, then we'll start to see this information get populated. Okay, we've got dimensions of the room. This is a room we're on. Okay, and then identify data, phasing. Okay, some energy analysis information we're going to talk about. All kinds of great parameters. Okay, so these are all parameters of that room. Okay, if you click on anything, if you click on a grid and you go into here, grids have, not as many parameters as a room. Okay, if you go up and you load up the architectural and you draw a piece of wall and hit escape, you can click on a wall and you can look at the parameters and properties of that wall. Okay, and then you can go in and make new wall types and add in structure and all kinds of neat stuff over here. Okay, but that's further, we'll cover that in some further lessons. So everything has properties is the point there, and specifically rooms. So now that we've linked into our architectural model and copy monitored the rooms across, they're all tied in. We've tagged our rooms and we can click on a room, or more than one room if we want. Okay, individually we can see the properties of that room over here, and this is where all the magic is, and this is basically the database, and we will take that room and apply an HVAC system and watch all that information get populated in the next few lessons.